Hello, beautiful ladies. Wait, I got too much going on in the background, so I'm trying to fix this so like I can get myself together. Hey everybody, can you hear me? I guess you guys can hear me. I'm trying to like get this greenery out the background, but anyway, hey. I feel like I should be like, hey girl, hey, how y'all doing? Oh my gosh, I am so, hold on, let me get myself situated here. Why I wasn't prepared, don't ask me. Hello, darlings. Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys? It has been a minute. I am so excited to be on Periscope. Hey, Naomi. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. You guys come on in the room, right? We're going to have a good 20-minute discussion. Y'all know I get my primping on fleek. So we got to make sure it's all together now, right? So anyway, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to Latasha for coordinating the Self-Assured Woman Scope Academy. Let me start this thing all the way back over. Like, let me back this truck all the way up, right? Let me back it all the way up. I got 20 minutes of time. I'm going to take my time because I want to make sure that you guys get the lesson that I have for you on tonight. Hey, guys. Hey, I missed y'all. I get to see y'all. First, let me introduce myself. I may have some new folks joining me. I am Tamika L. Sims. I'm creator and founder of Ink Pen Diva Manuscript Critique Services, where we provide writing, coaching, and editing to aspiring and veteran authors. Hello, beautiful Coco. Excited to hear you. I am also co-founder of Blueprint Recording Studios, a commercial recording studio here in South Carolina. And hello, y'all know what I'm about to say next. Creator and founder of this freaking amazing community. So let me back up. Creator and founder of this amazing award-winning community. I will never, ever get tired of saying that. And I'm so honored to serve as a leader tonight. And honored to just be here. I want to pause for a few minutes before we get started. And I have to thank Latasha for spearheading this effort. I was actually thinking today that I'm not sure how in the world she actually got pushed to start the Scope Academy. I don't even know. I don't remember. And I guess at this point it doesn't matter because she's hosted like 10 of them. Like, have we done 10 of these? 10 or 7 or 8? I don't know. It doesn't matter. So anyway, she's been facilitating these, coming up with topics, coordinating the date, time, creating the graphics. She's done an amazing job. So Latasha, I want to commend you. Thank you so much for keeping it up. Even during her times of challenge, guys, and personal struggles and triumphs, she has continued to lead this initiative. And I believe that she is a true example of what leadership looks like, right? It's that, you know, the ability to be able to push through. Oh, you volunteered? Oh, great. I like volunteers because that means I don't have to call on you, because I'll do that too. But anyway, so she's been leading this effort, and that's an example of what true leadership is. It's being able to push through, to continue on, to keep moving in spite of the personal challenges that you may be feeling, right? Oftentimes leaders have to be able to maneuver through the challenges of life, no matter what's facing, because they still have to show up. They still have to show up, they still have to be visible, they still have to be in position. And then I gotta give a shout out to our Perry newbie on tonight, Deetta Lee Wilson. I'm calling your full name like I'm your mama. That's terrible. But anyway, so I want to definitely thank you for showing up. I think I kind of pushed Deetta into doing this too. I tend to be a pusher. Are y'all okay with that? It's all good. So I think I pushed her in the group to become, to join this academy because she talked about visibility and she talked about live streaming. And I was like, oh my gosh, we got something coming up that you totally need to be a part of. So I'm so glad she showed up and showed out tonight as her most authentic self. And that is the beauty of live streaming. So I wanted to get those. Thank each and every one of you for participating and being a member of Scope Academy. Thank you guys for being consistent. I know that the messages are rich. They're true. They're unique to who you are. Each of you brings something amazing and incredible to this platform every time we host this. And I'm always excited and looking forward to, these opportunities. So I'm excited about the next one. So tonight we are talking leadership. And as I said earlier, I got like 3 pages of notes. So if I don't get to them all, it's all good. Y'all know I'll post something in the community. So I want to go back to a point that Chandra made before I actually get started. She said it's important for leaders to connect with those that they are called to lead. And I think that out of everything else that has been said on tonight, that is a real important statement, and I don't want us to miss the meaning behind it. That it does not matter if you being called to lead, if you're not connected to your why, if you're not connected to the people that you are called to lead, if you're not connected to the reason for your very existence. Like, for example, if I was saying, it doesn't make any difference for me to say I'm the leader of the Self-Assured Woman movement if I'm not connected to you guys in there, if I'm not trying to maintain relationships and connect with you all outside of the community, right? If I don't send private messages or emails or text messages to encourage you or to check in with you, that doesn't make me a leader. I remember a pastor saying one time that a leader with no followers is just a man taking a walk. Hey, Chantel! Right? A leader with no followers is just a man taking a walk. And we don't want to be men or women taking walks, right? We want to be people. If we're being called leaders, leaders have followers. Leaders have followers, just point blank, period. And it's not that we're trying to build a cult. It's not that we're trying to build some private mechanism or machine or whatever. Leaders have followers. People are attracted to leaders that's going somewhere, right? And so the more that we are going somewhere, the more that we are staying true to our mission, the more the followers will have. Think about it, right? Let's think about all the great examples of leadership that we know. Just think about the number of followers that we have. You guys in this community, perfect example. There are more than 1,000 of you in Self-Assured Woman. Technically, you're followers, right? But not followers in the sense that you're following my every move. No, you're followers in that you are connected to my message. You're connected to the core of who I am, and you've chosen to align yourself with it, right? You're followers. And so, but anyway, that wasn't my point for tonight, but I wanted to make sure that we don't miss that message, that note. Very short, but very powerful and impactful statement. So I want us to really spend some time thinking about it. But as you guys know, I am a writer at heart. I love words. And I love looking up and understanding the meanings of words. So as I took the time to really understand what a leader is and really looking up the definition, here's what I found out. And I want y'all to take notes or somebody do the comments or whatever. But a leader is a person who leads, or a person who is able to lead. So a person who leads, or a person who is able to lead. That's simple, and I think that's pretty easy. All of us should know that. But here's where it gets a bit deeper. A leader serves as the conduit, right? Do you guys know what a conduit is? In the context of leadership, a conduit is a person who causes change, right? The person who causes change. So a person who leads or is able to lead, who serves as a conduit. Now, here's what leadership is. Leadership is the capacity to lead, right? We use that word all the time. Or I'll say it sometimes when I'm speaking about individuals, that he or she does not have the capacity to love, or he or she does not have the capacity to be what they need to be, or be who I need them to be, right? Some people just don't have the capacity. So leadership is having the capacity to lead, having the capacity to serve as the person who causes change, having the capacity to serve as the conduit. Here's what capacity means. I love words. I love words. Capacity is the faculty, right? The faculty, the mental strength, the tenacity to produce or perform. Right? It is the capacity to lead, the faculty, the mental strength, the tenacity to produce or perform, not necessarily always in and of themselves. Right? And to go back to Dietta's point, a leader, or Dietta or someone said it earlier, a leader is someone that is able to pull out the greatness in others. But the way that I'm able to do that is because I have the faculty, I have the capacity to be able to do so. And because I'm serving as the conduit, because I'm serving as a person who causes change, right? I'm able to see, and I'm able to see in you what you may not be able to see of yourself. Right? Capacity is, or leadership is, the potential or suitability, right? The potential or suitability for holding, storing, or accommodating. The potential or suitability for holding, storing, or accountability. Capacity, suitability, potential, conduit, all transformational words that I define and identify the characteristics of a true leader. Right? Leadership is not all fun and games. It's not all hunky-dory. Leadership is being there when no one else is being there. Hey, Robin. Leadership is being there when no one else is being there. Leadership is being there when no one else is showing up but you. Leadership is being on the conference call when no one else has joined the call, right? Leadership is about continuing to allow the ship to operate, continuing to allow the well-oiled machine to keep going, even though you may be the only person there. Right? The potential or the suitability. Because leadership, if you don't have strength, if you don't have the wherewithal, if you don't have the mental toughness, you'll have it by the time you finish your leadership term, right? Because leadership builds character. It develops things on the inside of you that you didn't even think that you had the strength to do or the strength to be able to do. Right? So it's that capacity. It has to be developed, right? And you develop leadership by reading, by studying, by connecting with other leaders. See, it's not, leadership is not about you. And I got notes, but I ain't there yet. Leadership is not about you. Leadership is about who you're connected with. Leadership is about what you are ingesting, what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you're teaching, what you're speaking on. Leadership is about building character in you. Everyone is not called to be a leader. And sometimes those that are in leadership positions don't need to be there because they don't exemplify the characteristics of a good leader. Right? Since we're talking about social media, let's keep it in this space. There have been times where, especially for those of you that are in Saw that have your own communities, where I'll do a simple like knock, knock. Like, it's been 3 weeks since you posted in your group. Like, what's going on? Right? It's been 3 weeks since you posted in your community. It's been 3 weeks since you've connected with those that you say you are called to lead. Y'all hear me? That's why that statement that she made was so powerful. If you're the leader of a community, if you're the leader of a group, the leader of a tribe, or whatever word you want to use to describe it, and you're not connected with the people that you say you are called to lead, then that is a problem. Right? That's a problem. It's important for us to show up. We have to show up, guys. Leadership is about showing up. At the bare minimum, at least talking to at least talking to your community once a day. Bare minimum, at least talking to them once a day. Right? I'm just saying. I know I ain't gonna get a lot of comments. Y'all know me, because I don't do surface level frou-frou stuff. Like I like to get deep, and I want us to have some conversation and let's kind of think about some things. So at bare minimum, you got to connect with people. If you're called to lead a ministry at a church, or if you're called to lead a group at your organization or your place of business or wherever you work during the day, if you work during the day and you're not connecting with those individuals every day, then we have a problem. You have a problem. Because what happens is over time, they're going to lose respect for you. What happens is over time is that someone else is going to come up and be the leader, because that's the thing, guys. If we aren't in position and if we don't do what we say we have been called to do, then God is going to raise somebody else to step into that position who really wants it and who has proven that they are fit for the job. If you're not showing up, if you're not being consistent, if you're not being diligent in your efforts, and if you're not connected to those that you say you're called to serve, he will raise somebody up who says, oh, okay, well, Deetta don't want to do it. Let me go over here and get Chantel, because see, I've been watching Chantel and I know that Chantel is ready. Chantel's showing up. She's on time. She's committed. She's consistent. She's communicating. She's participating. See, that's how easy it happens. That's that transference, right? That's how easy it happens. Because it's important for us to be in position. And it's important for us, if we say we're going to lead, then it's important for us to lead. right? Remember, we're the conduits. We're the people that cause the change. We're the one that say we have the capacity to be able to do this. We say we got the faculty. We have the mental strength. We got the tenacity. We have the wherewithal. We have the will to be able to move through every challenge that we have been faced, understanding, like Deetta said, that every challenge doesn't require our attention. See, that's wisdom. That's that capacity. That's that faculty, because it is internal. Right? It's internal. Leadership is in you. It's internal, which means that there is a lot of internal work that goes into this. Like, this is not something that you say you've been promoted to a position. Leadership is not promotion to a position. It's so much more than that. That's a part of the process, but it's so much more than that. Right? You got to do the internal work. So you've been promoted. You've been promoted. That's great. You started a community. That's great. And now what? And so what? Right? Now what? And so what? So what does that mean? What are you going to do with this opportunity that you've been given? What are you going to do with these people that you've been called to lead and serve? What are you going to do with it? Right? Are you just going to tuck your hands under your behind or tuck your hands under your tail and just watch it and let it see what happens? No, you got to get in there. You have to get in there. People ask me all the time, how is it that Saul has grown? How is it that you are able to maintain community? I lead by example. I'm in there every single day, whether I'm posting or not. I know what's going on. I know who posted what when. I know if something funky, they need to delete it. Exactly, because I show up. And I tell people that all the time. That's the reason that it's grown. It's not about me. It's because I show up. People see me. They know that I'm not somebody that's just that I'm not a leader that's not connected to my community. Right? Because believe it or not, y'all, there's so many people that have groups on Facebook that they're never in there. They launch the group and they're never in there. The people can never see the leader of the community. Latasha, how's my time, girl? I don't have no sort of clock or nothing close to me. But they're never in there. They never respond. They never comment. They never like. They never share. Like, think about it. Just think about the groups that you're in. How often do you see the leader? How often do you see the leader corresponding? Right? Think about it. Just start to pay attention. And then ask yourself the question, is that person I got 3 minutes left? Oh, Lord. Let me get to my notes. Hey, Kayla. Let me get to my notes. Lord Jesus. Okay. Whew, let me reel that thing on in, honey. I get passionate. But what makes you look up to a leader? Kayla, it's all good, girl. You are here. You are here. Oh, y'all gonna let me finish? You're gonna be like, are you finished or are you done? I'm just kidding. But listen, so what makes you look up to a leader? Point I always like to make: visibility. Visibility makes me look up to a leader. Because why? Leaders lead from the front. Right? Leaders don't lead from the back. And I know y'all, these backseat leaders that they don't like to be out front. Chantel's one of them. She my friend, so I can pull her out. She like, I don't want to lead. I don't want to speak. I don't want to be. I'm like, girl, it's your event. What do you mean? Right? I ain't lying, boo. Right? Y'all backseat leaders, backseat drivers. No, ma'am. No, sir. Come out wherever you are. Listen. We don't have time for you to be shrinking and playing small. You cannot lead from the back. Oh, boo, you know it was coming. Anybody that's close to me knows you are absolutely going to be called out. So we don't have time for leaders that shrink or play small. You can't lead from the back, honey. If it is your event, if it is your movement, if it is your whatever, fill in the blank, if it's yours, if it's connected to you, you got to lead from the front, which means that because guess what? Speakers cancel on you all the time. People don't show up. People aren't into position. So what you going to do? You going to sit in the back of the room? Absolutely not. Leaders lead from the front. Visibility. The next is posture. And posture is very important because a leader has a certain aura about them. A leader walks and speaks with commanding authority. A leader knows what they're talking about. A leader researches. A leader is well taught. A leader is well versed in the subject matter that they're speaking on, right? And I'm not talking about posture as far as how you stand. I'm talking about posture. I'm talking about your positioning. I'm talking about your visibility. I'm talking about your ability to articulate your message. I'm talking about the ability for you to connect with those that you are called to. Right? Your posture. Remember, Shanika, honey, I am so sorry. I got like 2 more points and then I'm going to be out of the way. But posture. Remember in the Bible, for those of you that are Christians, y'all know I'm a Christian, so that's where I go. Go with me. Remember in the Bible how there was a story of King Saul and David, right? The people loved Saul because Saul was good. He was good looking. He was tall. He was handsome, broad shoulders, right? That's what we want. Broad shoulders. They look good. He spoke well. Oh, okay. That's the king right there. But what they didn't see was that scrawny little shepherd boy tending the sheep in the field, right? Because leadership is not about look. All this here, honey, these nails and everything going on, that's great. But that does not make me a leader. Leadership is not about a look, right? Because guess what? The one that we think should be chosen, the one that we believe should be elevated, and the one that we believe should rise to the occasion is not the one that God has chosen. And that's where we miss it. We overlook the little scrawny shepherd boy in the corner because, oh no, he just tending to the sheep. He don't have nothing to offer to the table. He don't. But no, remember when the prophet came to the house, the prophet said, you have to have another son because none of these are it. Listen. You have to have another son because none of these are it. Because although they were handsome, although they were educated, although they were smart, although they were able to do, they were not the one that God chose. And God found that little scrawny shepherd boy and said, you will be the one that will not only lead my people, but the savior of the world will come through your bloodline. That scrawny little shepherd boy. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This girl who grew up in the ghettos, I grew up in the ghetto. The street that I grew up on wasn't a street. It was an alley. It was little matchbox apartments. That's what I call them. Don't let the scrawny fool you, D'Etta. I love it. It was a little matchbox apartment. We could literally, the walls were so paper thin, I could see my neighbors. No lie, I could see my neighbors. It was drugs, it was gangs, it was abuse, it was everything else happening in my neighborhood. Right? And you couldn't have told this little scrawny little girl, this little scrawny little girl with this big forehead, this 5 head, honey, because I've always been fabulous. But, right, you could have told this little scrawny little girl that she would one day grow up to lead a movement of more than 1,000 women. Like, that was impossible. That didn't happen in my neighborhood. People from my neighborhood didn't make it. Our route was jail or the graveyard. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Don't ever overlook the scrawny. No matter how good or charismatic, that may not be the person that God has chosen. Stay connected to God. That wisdom, that discernment that we've been talking about all night, that's where you have to stay connected to, because that's when he'll reveal who he has chosen and who he has called. Whew. Leaders build their followers, right? Leaders are able to inspire the greatness in others. They're able to push and they're able to motivate, right? They're able to push and they're able to motivate. I don't even like the word motivate because motivation to me is so internal, but they are able to push and they're able to inspire you to your next level of greatness. Right? Leaders are just able to do, they're just able to do that. And they don't have to say a lot. They don't, like, sometimes when I'm talking to Chantel, since I'm on her street, let me just stay there. Sometimes when I'm talking to her, I don't even have to say a word. She just be like, oh Lord, I know what that means. See, that's connection, y'all. Because she already knows me. She already knows certain things don't say, certain things don't do, because you already know. I don't even have to say a word when I'm talking to her. She'd be like, oh Lord, okay, don't worry about it, right? Because, I'm able to inspire and push her to her next level. And I don't have to do it sometimes without speaking, So that's what we're talking about. All right, last point. Last 2 points. Leaders use their voices. Leaders use their voices to stand up and speak out against issues of oppression and injustice, right? We use our voices to speak up and speak out against those things that impact the lives of those that we know and love. And then finally, I can't count. Transformation. Leaders cause transformation. They cause major shifts in the atmosphere. Leaders are masters of change. Goes back to that conduit. Goes back to that capacity. Leaders create friction. Right? We create that friction and say, nah, we're not going to leave this at the status quo. We're going to shake this up a bit. Leaders are masters of change. Leaders can often feel shifts in the atmosphere before anyone else because they're connected, because they have wisdom. They use wisdom. They use good judgment, good sound judgment. And finally, I believe that all leaders, the greatest example of a leader that any of us could ever have is Christ, my personal opinion. It's because in Christ, we find a servant. We find the man that although he was meek and lowly, he was a man that shook things up. He turned the tables over when things weren't going the way that they were supposed to. He was able to speak and he was able to inspire. He was able to say, now you've been sitting at this gate of Bethesda. Let me get off this sermon. You've been sitting at this gate of Bethesda begging. When the prophets came by, the apostles came by, they said, all you have to do is take up your bed and walk. And so I believe that the conversation that Jesus had with that man at the gate of Bethesda is, how bad do you want it? Right? He was a servant. He was a leader. He was a teacher. He was a motivator. He was an inspirer. He was a pusher. He was a lover. He covered his people. He connected with his people no matter how dirty, how ugly, how bad, how indifferent. That's who he was. And Christ is the greatest example of leadership that we could ever have because he was a servant. And I am done. So, thank you guys so much. I'm excited to be back on Periscope. I actually need to kind of come back on here a bit more frequently because since I've stopped doing Facebook Live for whatever reason anyway, I'm trying to be consistent. Y'all pray for me. So thank y'all so much. Again, thank you for being members of Self-Assured Woman. I am absolutely... I love this community. I love every single one of you. I am here if I can ever be of service to you. Whatever you need, never hesitate to reach out to me to get your questions answered. I love you, Latasha, and thank you so much again. Thank you, ladies, for joining. Thank you for the heart love. Thank you for sharing and inviting your followers. And I believe that Shanika is up next. I'm excited to hear what she has to say, and Coco and Takima and everybody else that's coming up the rear. Thank you guys so much, so much. And I love you, and I'll see you online, and I'll see you in the group. Bye.